Hi everyone and good morning. Welcome to this pre-Rosh HaShana assembly. One of the things I love doing when I have spare time is going for walks out in the countryside. I love nature and views and scenery and trees and just the smell of fresh air. And I really try whenever we have off from school to just get a little bit of time appreciating the countryside. And I was lucky enough last summer to be in Wales for a few days and visited one of my favourite places, which is Snowdon, and to do the climb up to the top of Snowdon. Snowdon is the tallest mountain in Wales, and it's absolutely stunning, and I've been lucky to be able to climb there several times. Now, on this particular occasion, we climbed up using something called the Miner's Track, and after getting to the peak and enjoying the beautiful scenery from up there, we decided to climb down and about a quarter of the way down, the track split, and we faced a choice whether to continue along the miners' track, which was the path we had taken up, or instead take a track off on the left, which would also get us back down to the base of the mountain. And this second track is known as the pig track. By the way, that's spelt P-Y-G, so it's not the animal pig, but it's the Welsh term for black tar, which was used in the copper mines in Snowdon back in the day. And we stood there looking at the two tracks, and it was quite clear that the pig track was straight and smooth and pretty non-challenging, whilst the miners' track, which we had already climbed, we knew was fairly tough, and we could actually see what a clamber it was to get back down. And we were tired after climbing up and decided we would take the pig track. Now, just as we were about to veer off, we met a couple of climbers coming up, and they said to us, "Don't take the pig track, it's really, really tough." And I'm a little bit of a know-all, and I could see that the pig track was nice and smooth, and we decided to take it. We walked along the smooth path of the pig track till the path veered round to the left, at which point it became an absolute nightmare. Very, very tough, slippery clamber back down to the base of the mountain, far harder than the miner's track would have been, and one that left us absolutely exhausted by the end of the clamber. Now, I was thinking to myself after this little story about why it was that I chose to take this track. And it definitely came down to the fact that there in front of me, I could see two options. One of which looked very easy and smooth, and the other one of which was really could be seen to be quite challenging and hard. And with the fact that I could see in front of me the easy option, the hard option, made much more of an impression, even though I knew that round the corner, these climbers who had just climbed up it told me that actually the situation would switch. And the path that started off looking hard would prove to be easy, and the path that started off being easy would prove to be hard. And I think that so many decisions in life are really connected to this sort of paradox. We're in a scenario where we're hanging out with friends, we're doing something with our family, and we face a choice. Do we go and do this? Don't we go and do this? How do we react? Do we lose our cool? Do we join in the banter that's perhaps not so nice? Do we do something that's a little bit silly and we know is dangerous? Do we get involved in something which is really just letting our values down and just not behaving in the way that a decent human being should behave? And so often the way we make the decision is by just thinking about what's immediately in front of us. What at this moment is the easy option, the fun option, the nice option, rather than thinking longer term, what will happen when I get around the corner? What effect will this have on me in half an hour, or today and tomorrow? How will this leave me feeling? How does this leave other people feeling? What will this do to relationships that really matter to me in life? How will this leave me as a dignified human being with a spirituality and a soul and a neshama? And if only in life, every time we made a decision, we could just stop for 5 minutes and just think it through. Not just what's the immediate consequence of doing it, in which I really want to do this because it's such fun and it sounds so great, but what will be the effect on this? Will this get me into trouble? How will this impact on me? It can make such a difference. And again, I think we see in the news, a famous figure, a politician or a celebrity who 10 years on, a tweet that they sent when they were really young comes out and they get into trouble for it. And at the time, they just never thought what could be the long-term consequences of something which was so quick and easy to do at the time, but so obvious that it was going to go disastrous in the long run. And if we could just think before we sort of click send, before we send that text, that email, before we say that nasty word or angry word to a family member, to a parent, to a mother, or a sibling, before we get involved in some activity which maybe isn't so sensible, if we could just press pause and just think for 5 minutes and just picture those two paths at the top of Snowdon, One which looks easy and smooth at the beginning, but around the corner gets so difficult. And the other one which looks hard, but actually in the long run is really good and productive. And the same comes with positive actions. Do we make that decision to get up and do something good, to say that kind word, to call our grandparents and just schmooze with them and chat with them for a few minutes, to go to shul with our dads or to go and help our mum with something? We're lying there on the sofa just reading a book and relaxing, and she's coming in, dragging and schlepping the shopping. Do we get up and help or just pretend not to notice and be lazy? If we could think there also, am I thinking short term at this moment I just want to be lazy? Or am I thinking long term about the love and appreciation and helpfulness that I can show to someone who really matters to me in life? So Rosh Hashanah is approaching. We're all going to be in shul, perhaps for longer time than we really want to be. Perhaps it'll be a little bit boring. Perhaps we'll really get into it and enjoy it. But definitely let's not let Rosh Hashanah pass without thinking about what the Jewish New Year is really meant to be about. Let's just spend a little bit of time thinking about the choices we make in life. Just think through, what are the decisions I'm doing? What are the patterns I've got into? Who are the people I really care about in life, really matter to me? And perhaps I just don't bother expressing that love, or perhaps I've just got into a cycle of unhealthy interactions with them and not expressing to them how much I appreciate them and just ended up with rowing with people who I know are the closest and nearest and dearest to me. What are the areas I can grow in my relationship to Hashem? Could I make that little bit more effort to daven a little more, or to learn a little bit more Torah? What are the good things I could do, which maybe short term, you know what, it's easier not to do, but long term I know if I carry on that path, that will take me somewhere where I want to go. So this year, let our Rosh Hashanah commitment be thinking things through. Before I click send, before I make a decision, just spending a couple of minutes thinking what will happen round the corner. What are the long-term consequences of the decisions I make? And if we do that, I think we will all come out of Rosh Hashanah a little bit better, a little bit improved, and hopefully facing a really exciting and good new year. We've had a tough year this year. It's been the craziest year on record. No doubt this is the most unusual time any of us will live through. Please God, with the new year, we'll start a HaShana Tova U'Matoka, a good year, a sweet year, and a healthy year for all of us. I wish you well, Shana Tova, and looking forward to speaking to you again as the term goes on. Be well.